What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Cars with Jesse. I am Jesse. If you haven't been here before, make sure you go like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Do all the fun things to help our channel grow. Welcome back. We are back on the daily build, the ultimate daily of the 2000 Honda Civic. We are on our $1,500 Honda Civic, trying to make it into a great daily driver and track car, doing autocross, road course, whatever we want to do. So, been really getting into driving for autocross and road course stuff. So this is what this car is, something to beat on, something for me to teach my kids as well, so they can learn how to drive and whatnot as well. We got this really clean example. If you haven't seen the previous episode of me picking up the car, or me buying the car and introducing it, go back and watch that. Our next step into making this the ultimate daily driver, we want to do that first. We want to daily drive this car first, is we are going to work on the radio stuff. That's our goal in today's video. That's not the only goal. We are going to be doing a couple of things with the car today, but the radio and the speakers are number one. I wasn't even going to film the speaker part. However, looking online, apparently it's a pretty common thing where people were a little confused on doing it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing about speakers because I'm not an audio guy and I don't know a whole lot, and I'm going to sit here and ramble and tell you things and it's not going to be accurate. So what I am going to show you though is the steps that you need to do to take the rear panel off so that we can access it, throw our Walmart speakers in this thing, because the speakers now are zero. They sound like with it all equalized to the back. So we're gonna go ahead and get these speakers in. Now, I'll show you the back portion first because I don't wanna film the whole process because I'm gonna try to do this kind of quick. I'm gonna show you what you have to do first on a 2000 Honda Civic to install the rear speakers, and then I'll show you the inside portion as well. Okay, so up inside the car, you have a bunch of these little clips. These are for harnesses and the panel itself and all that. So you'll want to pinch all these clips, get those pushed through, and then you also want to disconnect your third brake light. And I think that is it under here, except for the wiring portion, which we will be tapping into the wiring, which is right there and right there, to make our speakers work. This car I want to be a nice daily driver, but also track. Okay, let's hop inside. So when you get inside the car, what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip the seat down. So you wanna get your seats flipped down. I started to pull this side apart already, and then I was like, you know what? I started looking something up and I was like, it seems like there's a lot of people asking the same questions. So I am just gonna make a quick portion of how to do this. So seats need to come down. These will pull just up a little bit. You don't have to like fully remove them, but you do wanna get them like that to where you can get it out from around it. You wanna remove those. These will pop off. Once you pop those off, there's a couple 12mm bolts. You'll loosen all the stuff underneath that we were talking about. That panel will then pop up. Make sure you don't have anything connected, and you should be able to get underneath to get to your speakers. At that point, you just unscrew the speakers, pull them out, put the new ones in. Let's go ahead and put the speakers in. Ready, set, 1, 2. Oh, my snaps aren't working. Oh, look, they're in, but it's not done. Let me show you it done. Boom, all back together. Whew, took me a minute. I did wipe down the panel as good as I could, because I look at it like you won't ever have that out that way again. So it's your best time to scrub it down. So I scrubbed it pretty good. All I gotta do is hook up the third brake light, and we're gonna test it real fast. Before, when I went to rear, there was absolutely nothing. So let's see what happens. Ooh, I have speakers! Heck yeah. We got speakers, baby. That's a huge win. So tomorrow we'll finish up with installing the radio. Let me turn this beeping off. Tomorrow we'll finish up, we'll install the radio into here and move forward with that. So let's go ahead and flash to that. Ready? All right. So now that we have rear speakers, I drove it today to work and it's so much better, so much more enjoyable to drive. I drove it with speakers, not a lot of exhaust, and the AC working. So big win, daily driver activated. Now time to start the upgrades. I guess the speakers were an upgrade too, but the actual upgrades of the vehicle. So as we discussed, we are not gonna do any performance enhancing modifications at all until after our first autocross event, which I think there's one next weekend. So I will find that was a dumb statement. I'll find the soonest one and we will go to that. So in the meantime though, we need to upgrade a couple things and keep the content rolling. My Civic has an outdated radio. We're gonna put a new upgraded radio in this thing. So what we got is, you know me, you can guess it, it's an Amazon special, baby, but that's okay. The reviews are good on it and it looks cool. It's this, it's made for the Civic. You transfer over like your heat controls and the vents and all that stuff over to this, and then it bolts right in, and it's supposed to adapt straight to the wiring. So it should be pretty plug and play. To get the dash out, or not the dash, but that unit out, you have to remove the lower panel under the steering column, I believe, which is like 3 screws. And then you have to pull the glove box down and get behind there, and there's a couple screws for the side, and then that piece should come down, where like the cigarette lighter is and everything, that should come down. And then after that, you can loosen it up. There's like 4 screws or bolts on the bottom side of the radio, and I think that allows the whole thing to pull out. So if there's any weird kinks, I will let you know. Let's time lapse getting the radio out, and then what we'll do from there is go ahead and get everything swapped over so we can install the new radio. That was really straightforward. That was probably one of the easiest audio units I've ever removed. So I will say this, for 353,000 miles, the car's in immaculate shape to the point where I'm like, it comes apart so easy. Like, it's wild. It was well cared for is what I tried to say. Plastics are in good shape underneath, and I don't know, it just seems really nice for 353,000 miles. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch everything over here. So let me show you. So what has to happen? What has to happen is I think you take the brackets off, because these are your mounting points. I think those will mount to the back of it. You'll take your HVAC stuff off here, and those just unscrew here, like there and there and there, and then you'll screw them onto the new one. Same with up here with your hazard switch. The vents, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look. They may unclip somehow or something, but overall should be pretty straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and move everything over real quick, and we'll be right back. I was gonna show you what the back of it looked like. However, I got excited trying to test fit it, see if it worked. It all kind of plugged in and fell into place, and I couldn't because I didn't want to pull it back out and risk something weird happening. Now, one thing I do want to tell you, getting the vents out of the back of here was a nightmare. I was trying to keep this all in one tacked, like one nice piece. Didn't work that way. I was gonna just put it to the side in case I ever needed it. Wanted to go back to factory because I'm an old fogey, but it didn't work. So when the vents broke, what I did, this is a good tool to have on hand and a good time to tell you about it. This little plastic welder thingy is great. You take these little clips, hold on, let me grab a clip. They look like, well, they have a bunch of different kinds, but they look like this. And you slide it into here, like that, like this, right? And then you just pull the trigger and it'll start sinking, and then you stop like halfway through, let it cool, and then pull it out, and then clip off the ends of it, and it welds it together. Super nice. I did that to the point where I could pick up the vents by themselves, like pick up the whole thing with the vent. They're solid. I'm gonna finish getting this thing installed, show you where we're at with it. We'll move on from there. So next scene's gonna be me showing you the radio, and hopefully it's working. Fingers crossed, let's go. Car's washed, it looks super good for real. It started raining afterward. But car's washed, interior is cleaned pretty well. There's some stains and stuff that I could get out, especially in this headliner. That's the worst part. And take a look at this. Boom! Looky there. Let's see if it automatically connects. My phone's connected to Bluetooth. Up, up, up. Boom, look at that. Already on the radio, ready to roll. We got the maps. We got the radio. Boom. Dang! All right. We can't play too much of that or else we'll get copyrighted. Yeah. Heck yeah. Super happy that this is working. Interior's clean. Let's move on to the next step. All right. So, since we've gotten the other things handled that we wanted to, the radio in, the speakers in, all that kind of stuff, the next big thing that I would like to handle on our list is the rust. There's not a lot of it. It's very small, it's very minimal, but I would like to take care of it so that it doesn't get any worse. And also it will make this car look so clean once the rust is taken care of. We're gonna do the rust at some point in the next week or so. I'm gonna take it out to my friend Anthony, have him take care of the little dents in it, and then this car will look fresh. Then we can move on to some of the other stuff. So let me show you where we're at with the rust. Okay, so this is our rust spot here. I did drop the bumper down. So we're gonna take care of this little rust spot. It's kind of ugly, kind of real bad, but not like the end of the world. But there is some stuff down here as well that we want to take care of. So we're gonna go ahead, start working on this. I will update you here in just a couple minutes. Okay, so here's where we are. We've sanded it. You don't want to go too far past your point, but you want to make it far enough to make sure you get all the rust. So we have all the rust, grind it out. I used I sanded it, but I also used like a wire wheel, like that there. Cleaned it out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little hammer, tap some of those higher spots down a little bit. And then what we'll do is I'll put rust reformer on it. Then we got a patch panel that we'll put behind that area. And then we will use like some fiber reinforced like filler. So like I guess they call it kitty hair. We'll use some of that in there to get it all nice. And that'll be the first heavy coat. And then we will go through with a skim coat, clean it up, and then we should be able to primer, paint it, all that kind of stuff. So let's move forward from here. Just realized that I left this thing recording for like 17 minutes. So I hope that I recorded the right part, because I don't remember if I started at the right spot or not. So here's what we have now. I have hit this with some rust reformer. I coated it on the inside with rust reformer. I grinded down as much as I could inside. There's a little bit of rust hole here. I grinded it hardcore the best I could. And then I coated it and I saturated, like it was dripping on the backside with rust reformer. So like I got rust reformer in every little crack, orifice, all that stuff. Now what we have here is we have our little body panel replacer part. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna mix up some of this kitty hair right here. So like some short strand fiber reinforced filler. This means that you can use it and not have to worry as much about like with Bondo. It's not meant to fill like a big giant spot like this. That's meant to like skim coat. So we got this piece in here. I'm gonna pull it a little bit more forward when I do it to try to fill up that piece, but it should be good, because we'll go to like you can go to 1/2 inch thick on this, but you don't want to. You want to have it as thin as possible, but you do want to have something for it to adhere to. So we have the little mesh in there for it to adhere to. Again, like I said, I'm going to pull up the some of the spots to make it a little bit more flush, and then fill it. We'll check back in a second. All right, so it's the next day. I did some of the fiber reinforced filler, and now we are on to regular Bondo. We have a smooth layer on there. Hoping this might be the last layer of Bondo we have to do. Then what I'll do is I will peel everything back, make a tape line further out there. always when you do stuff like this, if you fold your tape line, it makes it a less harsh edge. And try not to spray up to the tape line if you can avoid it. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do that and see what we can do. See if we can get this looking really, really good here soon. All right, so here is the final bit before I put my final primer. So this is like spot putty. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just kind of you squeeze it out, mix it up into itself just to make sure it's not like liquidy. And then spread it on little tiny thin parts where there's like it'll help with like little scratches and stuff like that. So we spread it on there. There was a couple little like divots and stuff, pinholes. I will go through here in a few minutes. I'm gonna let this kind of cure over for about another 15-20 minutes, and then we will sand it down, smooth it out, and then we will prime it, see how it looks, and if it primes well, we will wet sand and then do color. All right, so here is the final primer before we paint. I'm going to wet sand this with 600 grit, and then we will go through, and once it's wet sanded, I'll paint it and we'll see how she turns out. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. It looks better than rust no matter how it looks, so that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and work on it, and I'll show you the progress or the result. All right, so we have it here. You can see the variation on the edges there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of 1500 grit sandpaper, something real fine, and I'm gonna lightly wet sand that here in a few minutes to try to get rid of that hard edge. That hard edge will go away anyway when we clear coat it and buff it and wet sand and buff it, but I think I can get rid of some of it now, which will help in the future for the final product. I think it'll look nicer. So who knows, maybe this messes it up. We'll find out. But I think that this may help it. I watched a few videos and nobody mentioned this part, but I think that I can do it. We'll see. But overall, that no matter what, that looks better than rust anyway. So let's go ahead and get to the next part. I'll show you in here in a second. Oh, okay. So I took a break from filming what I was doing because I really goofed up. I will tell you how I messed up. I didn't film how I messed up because I was so frustrated and I kind of forgot. It's not that I love telling you guys when I screw up because I think it's a good learning experience. I'm not perfect. I'm not a body man. I'm not perfect at working on cars. Like, it just is what it is. So I don't mind that. It wasn't that at all. It was the fact that I was so frustrated that I did what I did, that I went straight into like, how do I resolve this mode? So what I did was when I laid down the paint, I think I did too many layers. I tried to feather out some of the texture from the side. And what that did is that left a very hard edge of color. What you want to do is you want to leave a little bit of that texture, and when you spray it, you want it to mist out a little bit because that's what blends. I didn't really think about that. I kind of knew because I've worked in body shops, I've worked around body shops, stuff like that. So I kind of knew just from that, watching different stuff on YouTube, all kinds of stuff, I kind of knew that's how it was. It just didn't register. My brain said, oh, feather this out so that you have a really smooth transition. You can't feel the lines, you can't feel none of blah, 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 this and that. So I wet sanded it and made a hard edge. Then I started to clear it, and the clear comes out way faster in this can than like any other can. Even the color comes out of the can. So I put it on so thick and it started to run. So I messed up the color. Then I messed up the clear. The bad part about all of that is that then I had to sand it all down. So now it doesn't look as good as it did before. But that's okay because I do have it all one color, and I want to show you what we have because this isn't done. It does need wet sanded and buffed, and I do think that wet sanding and buffing will bring this all together and it will look really good. But I want to show you where we're at because I don't know if I posted where we started. But here's where we're at. So There is some variation. You can see it, especially in the camera. You can see it way more than you can see it on in person. But when I wet sand and buff it, I think that variation will go away, and I think that it will look pretty smooth and fairly seamless and look pretty good. We'll see. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight. It's so late. I need to go inside and get laying down for work and stuff. But tomorrow, here in a couple of seconds for you guys, tomorrow I will wet sand and buff this and see how it turns out. And I'm hoping that it looks pretty good. I think it will. I don't care if it looks perfect. It's a 26-year-old Honda Civic, so I don't care if it looks perfect. There's other spots on it that don't look great. I just didn't want a giant rust hole. So when I grinded it all out, we got all the rust out of it, hit it with some POR 15 down in the holes and some rust reformer and everything. I don't think it's gonna re-rust. I think it's a pretty good fix. It doesn't look the absolute prettiest. There are some issues on the body lined part, mainly because I had to go back and fix a bunch of stuff afterward like an idiot. But yeah, so let's go ahead, cut to tomorrow, and I'm gonna wet sand and buff it and we'll see how it turns out. Oh, why is the outside so spicy? I totally forgot that I did to film the end of this video and show you what it looked like after it was done being buffed. So that is how it looks. It came out pretty good. It's funny, you can see way more in the video than you can in person. But I do plan on buffing it a little bit more to see how we can get it to look. So I just want to finish up this video, get it up, because I told myself that I couldn't start my next project until I finished this video. So I do have a autocross video of the Civic that I'll be editing tonight as well. That way I can be done with all of my videos, be fully caught up before I start my new project on the Civic, which will contain, there's a little hint right there at what some of this stuff might be. I'm excited. Got a lot of cool stuff coming for this thing. Better verbiage, just stuff ready to go on this car. So we're gonna start this project here soon. It's gonna be a total transformation. I'm gonna do it in a couple of different steps. We're gonna do like the looks of the car, a whole front end transformation, and some handling performance stuff. So those are going to be the next few videos, so look forward to that. Next one will be autocross. I do have an autocross video of the Stereo I never posted that I need to finish up as well. So maybe 2 videos of autocross stuff, and then we'll get to the performance stuff on the Civic. That will be the big changes and upgrades there. So thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next stuff, and we will catch you on the next video. Goodbye.
Maybe it just takes time.